is you are still a legend, and he is still, and he probably is, the greatest goal scorer of all time. Godfrey Chitalo. I want to start with love. I want to first start with love because I think love is the best way to start off a vid like this. I want to start with love. 122 goals is a great milestone. In any aspect, in any place, 122 Gs is a great milestone. And it is something that should be commended. So I'm not going to come in here and on face value hate on 122. I ain't hating on 122. And I'm not saying that 122 is an easy thing for someone to do. 122 is tough. So for Cristiano Ronaldo, that 122 represents a career. It represents a legacy. It represents longevity. It represents the consistency. So I ain't gonna hate. Because I know a lot of you guys were like, all right, half up, what's the hate now? What's the new thing now I'm gonna hate with Cristiano? But no, I'm gonna hit you with that southpaw. You see, I was say you thought I was gonna go right-handed, but I'm gonna hit you with that southpaw. I'm gonna hit you with that southpaw. I'm gonna go, like that. So I hit you with something that you were not expecting. I am not here to hate on 122. And I think this goes in line with when the dust settles. You have your good Mullers, of course, you have your Messis and so forth. He will go down as one of the great goal scorers. If someone says he's the greatest goal scorer of all time, I'm like, okay. Because he still holds that UCL record. Now, let's see what Haaland does. But as a right now, he still holds that UCL record. So he holds the record in the Champions League and he holds the international goal record. So if someone says that this is the greatest goal scorer, it makes sense. Because the numbers prove it. Who's on top of the UCL goal scoring charts? It's Cristiano. Who's on top of the international goal scoring charts? It's Cristiano. So it is something to herald. It is something to respect. And it is something that I think, he can point to and say, bro, 122 international goals. It's big time. So I just thought it was very, very important because you have to be balanced with these things here. I try not to be biased and I have to be fair here. So the haters will say Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, San Marino, you're scoring against accountants, fruit sellers, shop workers, carpenters, bricklayers, and carpentry merchants and substitute teachers. But whether he's dropping G's on substitute teachers and jewel thieves, it doesn't take away the fact that those are goals. It doesn't take away the fact that those are goals. 122 goals. 122 goals. Because you can only score what's put up against you. Now, I've had a discussion and I've put out a video as to why I don't think San Marino should not be on a pitch with someone like a Cristiano. But that is for a different discussion. That is for a whole different showbag. So, put that there. Now, I want to show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. Share screen. Let me show you guys something. So guys, here we have the list of the international goal scorers. So let me just take you a few names. And if you know any of these names, just raise your hand. Raise your hands way in the back. So guys, if you're in the back of the class and you know any of the names, raise your hand way up high. So let me just give you a few of these names. So let's start with Neymar, Pele, Lewandowski, Hussein Said, Godfrey Chitalo, Ali Babcoat, Ferenc Puskas. You know Ferenc Puskas. Ferenc Puskas. Sun, Sunil Chetri, Mokhtar Dahari, Lionel Messi, Ali Dai, and the great Cristiano. So, guys, let's talk about Ali Dai. I remember when Ali Dai held that record for a while. And remember, this was two on time. Ronaldo was out, Shevchenko was out, but Kaka, all these strikers were coming through. And I just remember they just kept on referencing us. Oh, do you know the guy with the most international goals is Ali Dai? I was like, oh, okay. But a big deal was never made out of it. It was just a stat that was out there. So it just shows you just how things have changed. But see, when I was growing up, these stats and records, they don't really mean anything. Now, you open up Guinness Book of Records, you will see Ali Dai has the most international goals. But within the football fraternity, within the football caucus, no one gave a damn that Ali Dai had that. And no striker was even wanted to break his record. Because strikers were worried about, do I have my league? Do I have my Champions League? Do I have my continent's trophy? Do I have my World Cup? So whether it was an Inzaghi, a Shevchenko, a Vieri, a Batistuta, a Weah, an Henry, all they cared about was World Cup, Euros, AFCON, Asia Cup, Copa America, my league title, Champions League. Nobody was looking at them and, man, I really want to break Ali Dai's record. And it wasn't even talked about. So growing up, that record and so forth, it wasn't talked about. Remember, this is pre-social media. Social media wasn't exist. This is 90s, early 2000s, and so forth. So, with that, I say this. It's a milestone, quality milestone. But it's big picture, Guinness Book of Records, sporting things beyond football. Oh, wow, cool. Like now when you open up the latest version of the Guinness Book of Records, you will see Cristiano Ronaldo has scored the most international goals. Within our world, and remember, this is not the home of life analysis. This isn't the home of planet Earth analysis. This is the home of football analysis. So within the footballing world, within this footballing vortex, it doesn't matter. Now, football Twitter and stats guys and so forth, they'll show how much that matters and so forth because of whatever the narrative it is. But within the footballing world, cool, but it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And you see, when you look at the kinds of names that are on here, why was Ali Dai up there? Who is he scoring against? He isn't scoring against a Schmeichel, a Casillas, a Buffon. He isn't going up against a Stam, a Desai, a Maldini, a Costacota, a Lam, or any of these dudes. He's going up against guys that he can easily start pad against. Which is why talk about a Luxembourg, a Liechtenstein, and all these guys. You're like, okay, 122 is 122. You can only beat who's in front of you. But Cristiano Ronaldo's Champions League goals, that's something. You see, that is something because it is his UCL goals as well as his performances in this UCL as well as his iconic moments. So that is something that should be championed because that goals record comes with trophies. So they come hand in hand. These international goals, okay, the Euros, no World Cup, 0 knockout World Cup goals. 0 World Cup knockout goals. Because you got your boy Messi there, man. How much Messi's on what? Yeah, like look, he ain't gonna catch him. He's on 99. So obviously, I mean, Messi obviously wants just one more just to make it a nice good 100. I mean, I think no. When all is said and done, Messi he'll pass Ali Dai. I don't think Messi will get to 122. I think Messi may round up on 110, 115. Yeah, he could get to 110, 115 before he says what's up. And also, especially if Cristiano is going to go to the next Euros, and especially in the groups, put it like this: we already talked about it. Who does Messi have to go up against? As I already said, Conmebol is the hardest qualifying in the world. So Messi has had to get those goals in the World Cup, which is the World Cup, and he's had to get those goals against a Brazil, a Colombia, a Venezuela, a Bolivia, a Paraguay, a Uruguay, and so forth. There is nobody in CONMEBOL that's a Luxembourg, a Liechtenstein, an Alaska, an Antarctica, a North Pole, a South Pole, or Santa Claus FC. But I have to be clear here with this because I want to be fair here. It is still a great milestone. He's in the Guinness Book of Records, and it's another feather in his cap. But for me, his Champions League goals record, is what is truly exceptional and what should truly be championed. I just think Cristiano Columbus bullying on Alaskans and Antarcticans, let those polar bears rest. But Cristiano Ronaldo, it is what it is. You are still a legend, and he probably is the greatest goal scorer of all time.